Hello, I'm Erin Halvorsen with Rag Rugs by Erin, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I am so excited that I met Wende Hughson. She attended one of my classes in Williamsburg,
So much fun.
and we got to meet, and she's an instructor as well, only she teaches a different type of rug. She teaches locker hook rugs, and I have always wanted to learn this. And I'm so excited that she was willing to do. We're not going to do a whole lesson here because she teaches them at the Quilting Adventures in
Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, Virginia. So you could come and take some classes plus some other things here. There's all kinds of other classes offered here. It's not just a quilting store, but they really focus on that as well. But I was excited about this. So she's going to give us a brief overview, and it's going to make you say, oh my goodness gracious, I need to go to Wendy's class and learn how to do this in person.
Please.
She's an encourager here, so this is very exciting for us. So Wendy, let's just jump right in. This is an example of a locker hooking rug that she made, and this is made with what?
Torn sheets just like you use in your rag rugs.
Okay.
I got them at the Goodwill.
Okay, so this is done with recycled sheets, and you would make a sheet yarn. Now she sews her sheets. She told me
Sometimes
because she's a seamstress, or she's not a seamstress, but she sews on a machine a lot. However, it is not necessary. You can use my no sew technique, but you can see. And then you know what she told me, which was absolutely amazing, is Wendy told me where did this come from today? Where was it before?
Oh, in my bedroom.
It was in her bedroom. It looks brand new is what I'm getting at. She had it there and
Been washed. I can't tell you how many times because I have two small dogs. That's all I'm going to say. And yes, so it's been washed, and then I just dry it flat, and it's as pretty as it was the day I made it.
So that is super exciting for me too, because you know that I really love recycling, and I love that what this art form that just like my rag rugs, and you are using something that can be washed and utilized. So this, I didn't even know when I came, and I was so excited, and you can see how gorgeous this is, just done with sheet yarn. But we have another example of something she would teach in a class. Can you tell us about this?
It's a trivet, and to get people started, it's a small project. So most people are being able to finish this in class, and then we provide these wonderful Mexican hand-painted tiles to put in the center. It's very heat resistant, and the cool thing is you back it with cork, which is readily available at the big box craft stores. And this is about a 1/4 inch thick. Just cut it to size and used a strong adhesive that is heat resistant. Just read your package labels and you'll see the ones that are, because you're hoping to put something hot on there. I use mine every single day that I have at home for my things coming out of the microwave. I'm having a bowl of soup or lean cuisine. I'll put it on there as I sit at the kitchen table so it doesn't hurt.
And those colors are so gorgeous. And so these were materials from the store.
These are batiks,
Yeah,
which
they
are
love these colors.
breathtaking, and they're a great fabric to use because the print on the front and the back are identical. It's dyed, it's not printed.
So you don't have to struggle to make sure that it's
Yes.
kind of
So
lighter
for
on
those
one side.
special pieces where you don't feel like you have to be the repurposer, more artsy, more specific, because I made this for you.
You made this to you're giving this to
Yes,
me.
of course, yes.
She knows my colors apparently. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely gorgeous. Really?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, please. You've been awesome.
Okay.
I love this.
Okay. Look and this, and look at this, and these are tiles.
Yes, they're hand painted Mexican tiles. I got them. I bought them a lot of them online, and so the tile usually speaks to me as to what fabric
colors
I'm going to use.
So
exactly.
sometimes are these different colors?
Oh,
sometimes?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Gorgeous stuff.
So if you took a
Gorgeous stuff.
class on this, there would be different colors available. Now,
Yes.
something else that occurs to me, you could also, after you come to this class and you make something like this, you could, if you're a quilter or you use other sewing materials, many of us are trying to get rid of our things. This would be another
Perfection, because it takes
Right.
like, an inch and a 1/4 strip
Right.
of fabric. So piece them together very hodgepodge,
Right.
and you've got scraps, and it's amazing. So,
Okay,
yeah.
and so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but after you learn the technique, you could do something like this, and she explained it to me so she could, after you've gotten this technique, she could explain it to you, and look at these ocean colors. What did you call it? It was sea glass colors,
My sister
and that's why
liked
she
it, yeah.
did this beautiful little rope here, and then other types of things that would be available to you to make once you learn the technique. So this is awesome. So we're going to move on to She's going to give us a little bit of a beginner type of overview so you know what to expect. And I'm going to move this out of the way. This is so sweet of you.
Oh,
really, this is
my pleasure.
so sweet.
I can't thank you enough for this. This is awesome to share.
I have to share something instead of waiting to the end because I'm going to forget. Wendy and I didn't really realize this, but the more we talked,
We're sisters.
I think we might be sisters, actually. Perhaps because we have so many things that are similar. So if you watch my sister rugs, we're not exactly the same, but we're made up of a lot of the same things, and it is absolutely uncanny. We won't go into the details, but so exciting.
Too much testosterone in our lives. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about these two different types of mesh. Okay.
Canvas. It's if you remember, because of our age, back in the 70s, locker hooking, actually latch hooking.
Latch hooking.
Yarn.
I made one. Yeah.
This is latch hooking mesh.
Okay.
Comes in a couple of sizes. This is you see the grid pattern. The in this particular size, 3.75 of the little grids, of the little squares, take up an inch.
Okay.
This blue line we didn't talk about is actually marks every 10 squares. So when you're counting and planning, designing, it's amazing.
Yeah, that would be very helpful.
This particular one is another sample, and the squares are considerably smaller. There's 5 per inch. So for a more detailed piece, a more artistic piece, you would probably use this.
Okay.
Something big and chunky like this would be the scatter rugs.
Scatter rugs or the
I believe
trivet.
for the trivet, I did this. For the trivet, I used
you
the
did?
5. I did a little tighter.
Oh.
It's smaller.
Okay.
So it calls for this.
Okay.
Something larger would be for the rugs. For my bag, I used this.
Okay. Very good. And so, and how big of sheet yarn or fabric would you use for this size?
3.7, I use about 1.25 inches. If it's a really dense fabric, if you've got this incredible upholstery fabric that you want to use, you probably want to go smaller because it's thick and dense and it's hard on your hands
so
to do that.
So you can still do that, but you just got to make some kind of conversions that's going to work.
It.
So you might want to test out what you're using.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Perfect.
So she's going to give us a little bit of an just like how you get started, so you can see and make you think, I've got to learn this.
Awesome.
Okay, so this is awesome.
You do want to build up your edges a little bit because this stuff frays. It's very easy to fray. You can be handy and use your sewing machine and run a little zigzag stitch after you've folded the edge down. And when I fold it, I fold a square on top of itself so that I end up with this top one and this bottom one touch each other. So I'm actually going through two.
Right, so it lines up, so it doesn't make you insane trying to get through it too.
So it's strong and
so
holds
can we
up.
flip this over?
Please do.
So see how she's zigzag stitched this? But I asked her about this because I really like it when we can do with the minimum amount. So if you don't have a sewing machine or you don't sew, I asked her about, you can either hand sew it, but she said it isn't.
No, you don't have to sew. You just fold it over.
Okay.
But you got to hold it in place.
Right.
And you will hate yourself for the first 2 rows.
Okay, so it's frustrating. So don't get frustrated, is what you're saying. It's just a
this. I want it to be comfortable and fun, so I have a little 30 minutes of prep and good to go.
Did you see why I wanted to interview her? It's all fun. It's about just gonna relax. This is supposed to be enjoyable.
Yes.
And fun and exciting. Okay, good. So telling me about the tools, the other tools that you're gonna use.
Oh, the locker hook. It's a crochet hook with an eye on the end.
Okay, and is this the kind of standard size?
It is. This is a 6.5 inch one that's standard, and you will use that. Some are silver, some are gold. They're all aluminum, and they're very lightweight.
And you can find this at big box stores.
Absolutely.
And if you came here, they would sell something like this.
We sure do. We carry some. And then
this weighs 6.5 inches, I think, maybe.
This is a petite, and this would be used for something not like this, but maybe a linen burlap. It's a loose weave, but still a small grid pattern in the weave, and you can use finer a fiber like pearl cotton and thinner yarns and even ribbon. So it's a really neat thing, or super thin
So once you've kind of done the other, you might want to try some of these other things. And, just like with regular rag rugs, it's endless, it sounds like, the possibilities of what you can do.
Yep.
So for today's purposes, we're going to use the standard hook, and you're going to talk about this. Tell us what this is.
This is just your basic, inexpensive, like $2.99 a skein of cotton yarn. Nothing fancy.
Okay.
Do you have to use cotton? No. You can use acrylic. If you finished an Afghan 2 months ago and you got a ball left, grab it. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
You probably want the colorization. If you're doing deep colors, use a deep colored yarn.
Okay.
Because sometimes they can peek through. You can see through the fabric.
I get you.
Lighter colors, use your light color. So
Okay.
it really doesn't matter. And
Okay.
you would just take a quick threading
So it's got a
that.
nice big eye, so
Yep.
she threads it through.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Okay.
And then, like you, I tore some and made some sheet yarn. You hold it under, and
hold it under,
you
okay.
take. I usually cut this at a length, and then I would do a loose tie to anchor it here, a
Okay.
loose tie, and then you just place the hook through. Let's pretend we're starting there.
Okay.
Grab this and bring it through on a loop, and you're going to feed it. I got to get my mojo going here, so bear with me. So, and you keep it on the hook, and you go into the next one, and you grab it, and you pull it up. And my bliss, my mojo is about 5 or 6. But
And
we're
you
gonna
choose
do
5 or
4.
6 so it doesn't get too out of hand.
Yeah, too out of hand.
difficult.
And
Okay.
then let's pretend that this is anchored.
Okay.
You pull this through.
Okay.
And see how they're all very uniform?
Oh, yes.
And then you pull this through. It's called
Yes.
locker hooking because this is your locker medium, your yarn, and it prevents the
Oh.
loops from getting yanked back through the mesh.
Okay, okay.
And that is how you get started. You know, most people go in linear fashion back and
And
forth.
so you would tie that, though, a lot of
I
times?
would leave this loosely tied in the beginning,
Loosely
and then
tied.
when I work my way back down here and I've got more, I might put a little knot and have a tail, clip it, and then run it back through my work and hide
Okay.
it. You just hide it. After
Okay.
you want to anchor it a little bit. One caution, you never anchor it. You would naturally think, oh, I want to do it on the back side because I don't want anybody to see it.
Right.
If you go into the back of your work and pull on it, those loops are going to get squishy and get pulled down
Okay,
through.
so it's going to just make it irregular looking
Right,
or
so you
something,
want, all this,
or
you want
or
these little
losing.
plump loops up here. So
Okay,
you
okay.
always run, even if I'm going to run my fabric, I would bring it up with a darning needle or a chenille. This is a tapestry needle rather. This is a number 13.
Which
And I
that's how-
could run my fabric through this
That's how I
and then run it back through my work.
do mine too when we finish our rugs. This is a great
Right.
little needle. It's
Always
very
on top.
inexpensive.
Perfect.
Make sure you get the metal one, not the plastic
Yeah,
one, because
please.
the plastic one is like a dime cheaper, and so you want to make sure. And that's a number 13.
We even share that, don't we?
Yes,
Our
we
13.
did. Yeah, 13 is the one I prefer as well, with using for the other one.
Yeah.
So that is really amazing. So that's how you get started. And we're
Right.
going to talk about one more thing here before is you can do something freehand, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
you could also with a Sharpie
Draw.
make a design or something, and
Just a little flower.
and you were talking about putting underneath like a pattern or something, if you had a pattern that you were, and just use that as your guide to
Trace
what
it
you
out.
wanted to, and just use a Sharpie and put whatever design you want.
And you
to-
can go diagonal through these grids. You don't have to go straight back and forth, and that adds to the texture and it creates a whole new thing in it. If you go circular or diagonal and work your way to the center, it just
adds to the interest of it.
Yes.
It adds to the
Yes.
So we're not going to spend too much more time on the other one, but I want you to pull out the one that you got over here that you were working on, just to show it in a process a
Yes.
little bit. So be patient with us just
So
a little bit here.
this is. Can I tell you where I got my fabric?
Okay, tell me.
And this is the back, but it doesn't look horrible. I was at the thrift store and I found this gorgeous. And the only time I ever get anything from Victoria's Secret in my life, because my figure wouldn't accommodate it, it was a kimono. It was a satin kimono from Victoria's Secret, and I got it at the thrift store. And so I used it as the center of these diamonds. And then I just started playing with silkier fabrics. I did go to the fabric store this
And
time.
see this, so this is something that she had, or it's a light
Yeah.
color, so if it does show through, it's not fighting
Exactly.
what's already
So
there.
this is my green yarn that I'm using
And so
for
then
this.
she's used this other.
And look what color yarn I'm using for the lighter one.
Yes, she's just
I mean,
using.
so I can have multiple pieces going. I'll have a little ADD, and so I get bored doing
Yeah,
the
me
same
too.
thing.
Okay,
So then I have
one
to
more
move
thing
to a
more
different
like-
section.
okay.
And that's a neat thing. You don't lose
Okay.
tension. You know, it doesn't. Unlike crocheting and knitting, because of the mesh, it keeps you straight.
Okay.
It keeps you from getting too tight, too loose. So, and this is all silky fabric and stretchy.
Oh, stretch your stitch
This is like, yes, this is awesome. This is another one.
Okay,
component
so
I
this
use
is
there.
all right.
So it's
Gorgeous.
just like, it's beautiful. The colors, don't ever get caught up on pattern, by the way.
Right, it's just about the colors.
It's about the color.
You're right.
Don't think, oh,
Rag
that's
rugs
got
too.
bumblebees on it.
I
can't
don't
use it.
know
Yes,
if
you
I've
can.
ever said that before, particularly,
ever.
but that is a good point. It's
color.
So I want to thank Wendy for joining us. I didn't even thank her. I was just so excited. I just jumped right in for joining us. But thank you so
Thank you for
much.
having me.
Thank you for
having me. This is
allowing us to
awesome.
come and you to share this. So of course, there's other ways to learn about these. They have books and whatnot. But if you're in the Richmond area, you're visiting Washington, D.C., or you might be going to Colonial Williamsburg, even if you don't live here, this might be something that you want to stop in and get
Call
a
the
class.
shop,
Call the
let you know
shop.
what classes
She has a
are happening.
website. There's all kinds of classes listed. If you don't see one of these classes, call them, because they have an interest list and they may know that there's another one coming up. Or if you have a few people, maybe they'll organize a class that you're coming with and traveling up here to do this. So you can see how much fun she is, and apparently they're all fun. So
the women
not
are
only are you going to
amazing,
get to enjoy and learning something like this, but you're going to have fun. So follow me on Facebook, and of course subscribe if you haven't already. I have over 100 rag rug videos, and you can see how fun my job is. I get to make rag rugs, travel, and meet people like Wendy, and
One
get
of the
to share.
best times of my life in your class. It was amazing.
That is awesome. So maybe you'll get to join me in one of my classes too. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.